Hello guys and welcome to episode 16 of my Rome 2 Total War campaign today with the Iceni tribe. I am going to be moving on with my armies into the north of Spain. We're hopefully going to be taking Araculum very soon in the next turn, and we can think about moving out this army to face the Nori on the field of battle. Now, the reason I haven't attack them and don't want to attack them is one, because there's a ton of trees in this area and the battlefield will be bloody annoying to fight in, and secondly, if they attack me I have a huge advantage and they're going to be forced to anyway because I've taken their last settlement. Now we are still building the army over here, and before I build these scout riders I'm actually going to save that and move into this province to get veteran riders. So I'm going to cancel the production of those men, and that will enable these ballistas, chariots and sword band to be finished. Next turn we'll move them into this province and hire 3 units of veteran riders, which are like the upgrade from Britain scout riders. So that'll actually make our army a lot stronger, I think, and that will allow my horses to basically be more upgraded than they would otherwise be. Now this army in Patavium maybe doesn't need to be here anymore. He can think about heading up north. So what I'm thinking of doing, if I move him out, we've still got +8 public order per turn. And I'm going to head him either to the left to take care of the Volcae and head to Spain, or we can send him up to join this army at Noria for when we attack into the Germans' land. I think he'll have to head around this way anyway because it will be quicker. So I'm going to put him into force march stance. And we're going to head up to near Aberzis.
The mother protects travelers.
There we go. He's going to run all the way around, all the way past Coria. Gotta love force march. Okay, with that done, we've pretty much made all of the changes for this turn.
How can I help?
Just checking around to see if I can upgrade anything. Might be worth upgrading these horse pens to stables while I can. Actually, I might not do it in that province. I'll do it in this province first, because that's my recruiting province. So having the ability to hire veteran riders there as well would be very useful. But that's it. I'm going to click end turn. So here we go. This is the battle I was talking about. They have so many mercenaries. Wow. They're attacking me straight away. And the strength bar is saying I have a huge advantage, which I probably do. So I'm just going to click auto resolve, I think. We're going to go with an aggressive stance to deal as much damage as we can. They're going to be forced to retreat and they'll probably attack me again next turn. That's the end of the turn. Military subversion. An enemy champion has led to a brutal assault against one of your patrols. Few have lived to tell the tale. That is unfortunate. This lady has increased in rank though. I believe that is my war maiden accompanying this army. So the agent details. I think we can go with upgraded valor possibly. Or we can add a new skill. But I think upgrading Valor would probably be the best idea. So I'm going to do that. And we can also add a tradition to this army. So, I think I might go for Indomitable Infantry. Let's just have a look at the army. Yeah, they are mostly infantry, so it's probably a good trait to have. So yeah, Indomitable Infantry is going to be their new tradition. Cool. We've got a population surplus in Caledonia. This can be made into a commons. We can have a look at this quartermaster's report telling us that the units have been completed.
I live To serve
these
the
areas.
people of Britain.
Now with this army sitting in Noria, I can think about bringing out the army from Octudoron. So I'm going to do that. That only goes down to +8 public order then. And this army is going to head towards the Volcae, I believe. While this army, the Bibrecti, is going to head past Vesontio towards the German lands. And what I'm going to do here is recruit some of the veteran riders I was talking about. So we're going to click recruit units and get the veteran riders. 3 units of them, and we can also upgrade the chariots to level 2 horses. That'd be very, very nice. We've got a household expands for Merios, who's one of my generals. +5% morale for all units. That's perfectly fine for me.
Warriors all!
And you can see here, because the subversion affected my army, I can't attack Araculum in this turn. So I'm going to move him as close as I can, but unfortunately not going to be able to hit them this turn. So that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Enemy wounded. Canikios. An enemy agent was caught acting against my interests. That was on this army apparently. We've got military additions, which I've already picked, and obviously the subversion that we've already talked about. That is it for this turn from the events. I've got the money to spend, and what I'm going to spend it on before I forget, actually, I've been thinking about doing this for a while, is recruiting some spies. So, going to go ahead and get myself a new one in Noria. We're going to get one over at this settlement in Burdigala as well.
What would you have of me?
We can also get a warlord for this army here that's going to be heading through Spain, and that will help upgrade a lot of these units as they continue to fight. Or I could actually make it near Vesontio and add it to this army, which is very fresh. I think that's probably a better idea and a better use of a warlord who's trying to train my armies. So we're going to get a warlord there who can go ahead and join that army. Now he has already got a skill, it would seem. So we're going to go ahead and give him the champion. Plus 6% campaign map movement range when accompanying a general. So we've now got all of the agents we need. And I'm going to move on to the next turn. That's used up a lot of my money, which is really, really nice. Military subversion attempt once again on my army in Spain. This time it failed. This time we will be able to attack Araculum. There's population surplus in Britannia. I'm going to head over here and sort out that. It's going to be in one of my smaller towns. Let's build that. And we're going to probably get another enclosed land going on, because we have a Shrine of Cananus, which improves the wealth from agricultural buildings. So we may as well go ahead with enclosed lands. Now, I'm going to have to start thinking about getting a navy soon, because I've got some settlements on or in the Mediterranean. And controlling this water around this area, when I'm both attacking Rome and into Spain and Africa, it's going to be very important that I have some sort of naval presence to take care of their armies as they're floating around. The Nori have been destroyed. With trespassing in the Marcomanni's land, my army actually moved after the turn ended up towards Abersis. We've got an encouraged populace in Aquitania, that's very nice. We've got the construction report of the commons being finished in Nematosena, so we can upgrade that again with something that will help us out for the end, or until the end of time. Now we do have the Shrine of Canunus in this province, so it might be worth making a farmer's market, which basically will help on top of the Shrine of Canunus to increase the payment from agricultural buildings. Or we can go with the storage pit. That gives us plus 15% from agricultural, and we get minus 10% attritional losses when under siege. I think all of these are very, very nice. However, the farmer's market probably being the best for both the amount of money it produces by itself and the bonus it provides. That's just for that province though. Now a trait gained for one of our warlords, plus 5% wealth from adventuring. He can go ahead and join this army with military training. That'll mean that this army can't move for this turn, but really doesn't need to, as I'm going to recruit more units into it. So we have a mix of sword band and spear band. I'm probably going to add another skirmisher unit there as well. So that's going to keep that army nice and pumped up. And this turn I'm thinking of declaring war both on the Marcomanni and the Suebi, so that I can complete one of my missions, which is to be at war with two factions of the following culture, Germanic, which is what both of these are, which you can tell by the culture symbol on the province information. So there we go. Probably going to do that now. Let's go ahead and go to the diplomacy screen where we can select the Suebi. We can declare war on them.
We will speak together of whatever you wish.
Use this option to officially declare war on another faction.
Now they're allied
do not do so
with
without
the
first
Marcomanni.
considering the
So that will allow me to attack these this turn anyway. I'm going to have to take them out of their forced march stance, and we're going to march on a Berzes.
Warriors all!
That should also complete the mission next turn. Now these are both fortified armies, so we're going to have to be careful about attacking them. Here we can start sending my scout out to see what's going on around the rest of the world. This will open up trade possibilities and allow me to discover other factions before I actually bump into them by bordering them. Upgrade my horses for my general there. But it looks like the Nori gave up when this army disbanded. So we just have this army sitting here basically waiting until the public order is good enough to be able to move him out. So it looks like it already is. So I am going to start to move him out and head up towards the Germanian tribes as well.
I would walk to the other world for my tribe.
I'm going to sit him on the border of the Gutones. And we can attack them after finishing off the Marcomanni and the Suebi. But before we do those battles, I'm going to head over to Spain and attack Araculum.
Let them cower before us.
In theory, this is going to be an incredibly hard battle for us, but I think we won worse. They have some mercenaries and plenty of Iberian swordsmen, which pretty much counter my Levy Freeman in terms of power in a 1v1. But with my scout riders in there, we should be able to assault this town very, very effectively. So let's go ahead and assault it. So here we are, facing the enemy's town. They have a lot of melee troops, so the weather condition isn't too much of an issue. And I think I'm going to attack it from this side, like I normally do with settlements with this layout. So I'm going to get all of my men over here, and we'll probably pile them through this gap here. So I'm going to get a group of them in front, and another group of them behind, and they will move up as one big formation through this hole in the town. Now my missile units can also move up over here, while all of my riders can come through the top side of the settlement here. And that way I can engage their entire army over in this section while my cavalry flank them and hit their missile units where it hurts. Okay, generals with that army as well, going to start the battle, begin to move these men forwards. Probably running them, just to get them warmed up. You can also think about grouping these missile units
Enemy reinforcements
and running them forwards as well. Here you can see that their Iberian tribesmen are lining up to defend the top side of the settlement, which could be an issue for me, as I'm going to be running straight into their Iberian spearmen and Iberian swordsmen down here. And the best way for me to counteract this is to move my horses to the right side where I can attack this spear unit that's all on its own. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift my entire force over to the right. We do have to worry about this noble cavalry though, a general that's come in as reinforcements. I'm going to slow down my main army here. And I'm actually going to focus this general with 3 of my units, while another 3 move over to the place they were originally intending. So here we go, we're going to engage them from the front with my Britain Scout Riders, allowing my general to come round the back and hit them in the side. There we go, frenzied charge of my general as well. I war cried this unit, going to inspire my general unit to give it a lot of damage. And here we can engage the front line. Okay, now if any men break through, we can actually run forwards our second line of defense, or attack. But over here I've got to worry about these reinforcing units that will cut off my horses if I'm not careful. So I'm going to have to move my horses back, continue pushing forwards my heavy freemen forwards. And we can actually move forwards the rest of my forces. I think they're all trying to run into the settlement, so they're not going to try and flank me. The second lot of men can now run forwards and try and help out, while the slingers start engaging their skirmish units on the left. Now with this general sorted out over here, I'm going to move them over to attack these men. Looks like some of my levy freemen are wavering. I'm going to bring them back out of the fight if I can. But it looks like they've already routed, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to have to be very, very careful here, because both of my routes for flanking the enemy with my cavalry have been cut off. I'm engaging his noble fighters on ground with my levy freemen. I'm going to bring my scout riders all the way around to the left now and start to push through these Iberian tribesmen. They're probably the weakest units they field. So hopefully if I can damage them significantly, we can actually push through here, even though they are spear units, with the cavalry.
The enemy general is dead.
Enemy general's dead. We're going to continue to pile on the men, even though they are just my simple cavalry, into this gap. And if we can rout these units, we can push our way round to the back of this fight in the centre here. But it seems our levy freemen, with their experience, have done well against the noble fighters. So the cavalry continue to push through on this side. It seems to me as though a unit's managed to slip past all my cavalry and go straight for my missile units. That is not very nice. I'm going to break off a couple of my cavalry units to ride back, while the rest of my men, alongside my general, head for the centre square. engage their noble cavalry with all the javelins and spears. That took out a lot of their horses. And with counter-cavalry taxes as well, we can probably deal a significant amount of damage. Managed to catch out the backside of this Iberian cavalry, which is going to end up causing it to rout. And with my horses coming around the back, we can actually flank this noble cavalry and attack their missile units with them as well. My general is also getting himself in the fight.
The men are wavering.
We need to inspire that unit that's wanting to run away. We're going to give them a second wind as well. And we're going to war cry the enemy units. We can use rally, but I don't think I quite need to. I'm going to begin to move around one of my scout riders units to the bottom side of the settlement to try and get into another flanking position. This is going very, very well for me, as their entire army decides to rout. And that's our victory. That actually went a lot better than I thought it would, especially with the balance bar being so far in their favour, and also because of the amount of reinforcements that they had. So, looks like a heroic victory there. We killed 2 generals. We lost 567 men for their 2,718 men. A really, really good job well done there. We can get 1,000 money from sacking it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and occupy it. Because I want to take the north of Spain for myself. And this will be the first settlement in my conquest. Okay, cool. So it looks like with the woodworker being in this province, it's likely that this will become my missile creating province for, well, for missile units, basically.
Warriors all!
Once this army has replenished, we can move him round and probably attack the Galatae. But before I do that, I've got to deal with the Sessitani. And they have a lot of provinces and a lot of armies. So this will probably be the largest challenge for me as of yet. Now to help me out with that, I do have this scout who's going to start heading down towards Taraco.
Heading out.
That will help me out a lot. And we can continue to move these other armies into positions to take care of the Volcae. So I am going to attack the Volcae. I'm not going to let them know it's coming. I'm going to use this province to add probably some more ballistas. Actually no, I'm going to wait because Bibracte is creating horse pens which will allow me to recruit veteran riders. So this army is going to wait near this bridge before heading to Massilia itself.
Ready for battle.
In this province though I can upgrade the horses. Going to be able to get level 2 horses though when the horse pens upgrade.
Ready for orders.
This army can't be moved any further, but this army however can attack Abersis this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attack the army that is fortified. The armies will come to basically help out. I can crush them all and then take over the settlement on its own. So I've got my sword band, spear band, levy freemen, Britain scout riders and Britain skirmishers versus theirs. Club levy, spear brothers, Germanic slingers, more club levy, more spear brothers and more slingers, and more of the same again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fight this on the battlefield. So this is the first fortified army that I've ever actually attacked, and basically a fortified army has a little fort to help them feel safe. Unfortunately it doesn't do too much, it just makes the attack passages a little smaller. But what I can do with my sword band, who work really well against their spear units, is just pile them through these gaps and do a ton of damage. So I'm going to get all my sword units to the front and grouped. All my spear units into another group and behind. All my missile units into a third group. And they can run up as well. I'm going to keep them near the front. And all my general and my cavalry units all together as well. They won't work well inside the settlement. They'll have to be used to deal with reinforcements. So here we can go ahead and run forwards the sword band units. We're going to select all of our spear units and put them in the second
Enemy
group.
reinforcements approaching.
Because it looks like I accidentally put them all in the same group. And we need to run forwards the skirmishers as well. We have an enemy army coming up on the left. I'm going to deal with their mercenary Germanic scout riders with my own horsemen. I'm going to break off my general to the left and let my scout riders take the brunt of the attack, allowing my general to get around the back. I'm going to give it a frenzied charge. They did manage to hit one of my Levy Freeman units in the back. Unfortunately for them, Levy Freeman are decent against horses, so that horse unit there you can see is just literally disintegrating. I'm not going to attempt to take out that unit with my general. I'm just going to break off my Britain Scout Riders, continue these Levy Freeman forwards, get my sword band to attack straight through the gates, my skirmisher units to follow up, and my spear units, actually, I'm going to turn them round and deal with this secondary army with the help of my cavalry, who I'm going to send over towards my general.
They will bleed for us. The oaks are our strength. Back! Live to fight another day!
Now my skirmishers are providing covering fire over the top of this wall. My sword band can now attack their units from all sides, while my army engages over here. We have another army coming up behind us, actually. Kind of neglected that. We're going to get all of our spear band to engage their army. So here we go, we're breaking through the front here. If I get my skirmishers further forwards, hopefully they can provide some more covering fire, because they seem to have stopped firing. But we've broken a couple of units over here. I'm going to keep all of these spear band and Levy Freeman together to take care of this army that's coming up behind me. That'll keep their morale high, and then I can think about manoeuvring my cavalry after that.
They will bleed for us.
So here we go, you can see that their walls are helping against all these javelins. Look at that, all the javelins shooting into the walls here. You can see all the spikes coming out on the other side. It's pretty crazy. My horsemen, though, are taking a lot of free damage now. My men here grouped, unfortunately, aren't doing as well as I would have hoped.
Our men flee the field of battle.
I'm going to get my general up here.
This is a shameful display.
We're going to war cry the enemies. We're going to have to second wind our troops and give them inspire. And we can also think about rallying them if I get the men close enough. I'm going to break off my cavalry now to try and fit round the back after baiting all of their men to attack me. And we've got this attack at the front here continuing as well.
This is a shameful display.
I'm going to charge round into the back of all these men with a frenzied charge. I should break their morale very much and help me out.
Heroic riders!
We've got to think about taking care of these missile units because they're hurting my horsemen a lot. And if we can kill these missile units, I can use the cavalry taking them out to flank even further. Sword band are doing well at keeping up the front line there. Can probably frenzy the units. I'm gonna war cry their enemy units again. To rally my own men. I'm going to continue the charge onwards.
The enemy general is dead.
Okay, cool. Most of their men are fleeing now. Nice chain route there with my cavalry coming into the back of them.
Warriors ready.
Should help out. I can think about trying to push the sword band through this gap to take out the rest of these
Our men
units.
flee the field of battle.
And we lost
This
a
is
lot of
shameful
spear
display.
units in this particular skirmish, but I think in general we did very well at attacking this fortified camp and the reinforcing armies at the same time. So there we go. Going to end battle, close victory. We lost 1,001 men. They lost 2,032. Kicking him into the dirt. He's going to just about get back up again. God damn. The general's dead though, so they're going to have to get a new one. The general for all three armies actually died. They're going to be forced to retreat and leave
cannot
their
do
settlements
that.
undefended
Warriors
as we go
all.
ahead and continue the siege onto it. So we're going to encircle it, and next time
We take this settlement for the
we shall
tribe.
take it for the tribe. So that's going to have to be in the next episode, guys, because this has been my time. I'm going to quickly go through the event messages. So you can see here these new ones that we've got from moving stuff around. The rest I've already gone through. So we got the settlement captured, Araculum, that's which we've done, which is really nice. We got Keen, +2 zeal from one of our generals. We got path blocked for Barros, which was this guy. We got the faction encountered, the BFE. That's by my scout probably, who is somewhere around here. There he is. He's discovered them. But yeah, that's it. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll be taking out the Germans. Goodbye.